Hi, friends. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see yous. Let's begin again. For our friends in the tent, Shabbat Shalom. For our folks online, we're going to invite you to turn to page 129. Page 129. And, like always, if you have one of the prayer books that has two different page numbers, you'll be following the page number in blue brackets. If you have our handout and our song sheet for later, you want to tuck them into the book because it's going to be a windy one. I got things nailed down all over the place. So we're going to do our best not to have things fly into your faces. 129. Dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li. One more time, dodi li. Dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li mizot ola min hamidbar mizot ola min hamidbar dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li mekuteret mor levo na levo na dodi li dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li bashoshanim bashoshanim dodi li. Yafeh. Let us, before we continue, do what we always do. Turn to a neighbor, perhaps somebody you haven't met yet. Share your name. Wish a Shabbat Shalom. You can look behind you. You can look in front of you. Great. So now while many of us have met, whether it's in the chairs or online or in this line, let's turn back to page 120. Page 120, we light our Shabbat lights. And Mike and Connie, if you folks will come and join us right over here. Yeah. You can use that there, the glass. Wow, I asked experts. Perfect. Thanks, friends. Ready? 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kineshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Thanks, friends. We turn to page 123, and we're going to ask, as we often do, if somebody is celebrating something, a special occasion, a birthday, something happy for you. We invite you to kind of come forward. We have a little bit of juice right here in the front. Awesome. Come on over. And the rest of us, we invite you to rise as you are able. You can take a cup. 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh Zeicher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kindashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yava uvratzon In Chaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. So what are you folks celebrating?
Well, I knew he wouldn't come up if I told him, but Avi celebrated his 15th birthday this last Wednesday.
15. Who remembers 15? Don't answer that. What else are you celebrating?
So yesterday, the whole country, and also Ann and I, we celebrated 10 years of marriage for all in the whole country, and it also happens to be the day that Ann and I got married, so we celebrate our 10th anniversary.
Mazal tov to you. All right, we can be seated. Let's turn to page 138 and 139. We welcome the Sabbath bride, inviting her to come to be in our tent and to be in our midst. 138 and 139, we continue with the first 5 stanzas. After the 5th one, we jump to the very last one, and then we rise. Normally in the sanctuary, we say turn to the open doors at the back, but today we get to turn to the mountains. Whenever we're outside, we get to turn to the mountains, watch the sunset. We might have to stand there for a while, but we get to celebrate Shabbat together. So the first 5 stanzas, and then we jump to the very last one. Lecha dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zachor b'dibor echad ishmianu אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי שבגדי תפארתך מעל יד בן ישי. ביתה לך מקורבה אל נפשי גאה לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בא אורך, קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצורה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. יפה, you may be seated. We continue on 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Oni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Oni melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. 146. We ask you to rise as you are able. Ya la la la, ya la ya la la. Ya la la, ya la ya la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la ya la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la ya la ya la ya. Baruchu et Adonai Hamivorach. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach, Hamivorach leolam vaed. Hamivorach, Hamivorach leolam vaed. Page 677. So you can hold your place and turn all the way back to 677. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. And gather us in peace as you lead us to your name. And we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Let's be seated. 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibata bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochpecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem gedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. 158. Yallai, 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamo Chane darba kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu ve'ameru, ze Elianu ve'ameru Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed Yallai, 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 la 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 la, yallai, yallai, yai, yai, yallai, yai, la la la, yallai, la la la. Let's turn the page. We start on the left and with the English, and then we move to the right in the Hebrew and back again. be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom. One more time, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu Leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu Shomrenu Lechaim Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom. Let there be love, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Take a breath. We move into the tefillah on 164. Page 164. We rise together as we're able. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'Imaot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gimbor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Let's be seated. On page 177. Let's read together. 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, lecha na'eh lehodot. Our prayer for peace on 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. We take some time for our own personal prayer, a little reflection. You can follow along in the Siddur, in the prayer book, on 179 through 181, or just take some time for your own thoughts. You can choose any of those readings to reflect upon, but we're going to take a little bit of quiet for ourselves. We'll come together again shortly at 180. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. 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 After our prayers for peace, we turn to a prayer for healing. 371, the middle of the page. And if you picked up our little handout, the one that opens up into like a little booklet, you will see a number of names that are shared with us. This is the time in our service where people move to the shade. They've had all they can handle. So I'm just going to face this way. So 371 in the middle of the page. If you see those names, we are going to take them along with our own. We wish for them a speedy recovery, a refuah shlema. You will see a list of names of those who are injured in Boulder at the beginning of this month. I know we often call out names. Perhaps we know these members of the community, but I'm going to ask us not to share their names out loud. They are still asking for privacy. We have their Hebrew names recorded in the handout. If you want to keep them in your hearts and prayers, then let's continue with the Hebrew. And while we call out to others names that are not on their page, or they are on the page, or even for ourselves, let's try and continue to support them in their desire to remain anonymous. If you would like to share a name, let's call them out. $371, right in the middle. Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And as we do week after week, we think of those that are still being held hostage, hope and pray for a speedy release for those who are alive to come home soon, for those who have already been killed to return home for a proper funeral. This is a prayer that has always been about people who are in some midst of struggle. And it's not just about hostages. I think there's a lot of folks that are feeling kind of confined in different ways in terms of how we might live out our Judaism, our Jewishness, our identities. And I hope that this tent can give us strength as we come together and think about the release of those that are physically hostage, and hope for release for those that might be spiritually and emotionally captive too. Achenu kol beit Yisrael, Achenu kol beit Yisrael, הנתונים בצרה, צרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו, one more time. אחינו, כל בית ישראל, אחינו, כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה, בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם, ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, ומייפלה לאורה, ומשעבוד לגאולה שתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם, ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, ומייפלה לאורה, ומשעבוד לגאולה שתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב. השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב. Well, I know that you always end a section of the prayer service with a prayer for peace. And it's in that peace and wholeness that we turn to healing. And when we can't think of healing without thinking of those who are captive, and then we have moments where we just have good medicine to be a part of our lives and something to hold us up and keep us together. And so, for a little bit of medicine for the community, I'm going to invite Ava Maxine to come forward, along with Ava's family. Ava is turning 1. Come on, right over here. Come with me. Bring everybody. How you doing? Great. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. How are you? He's good. Okay, good. So, we, already sticking your tongue out at me. We are excited for you because in this moment of celebration for you and your family, we get to bring Ava also into our covenant. Another Brit moment, another time to, look at this little thing in the top. Another opportunity to celebrate family and love and community and all of these wonderful, amazing things. So we say, Brucha ba'a b'shem Adonai, blessed is she who comes in the name of Adonai. Beirachnuch mi beit Adonai, we bless you in Gesundheit, in this house of God. So to share a couple of readings for you. Are you ready? Are you waving to everybody? Okay, good. Good. I wave to the camera. Everybody online can see you. Okay, I'm starting to make her nervous. I'm just going to do my part. Every person born into this world represents something new, something that never existed before, something original and unique. It's up to us to know and recognize that this new person is absolutely unique in our world, a singular character and personality, and that there has never been anyone like this child ever before. This is a new life in the world. Words from a great teacher of ours, Martin Buber. And we have a blessing for you, Ava, because here's your Hebrew name. Take it all in, kid. Here you go. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayem et hayalda hazot la'avio ule'ima v'yikra shma v'Yisrael. Here is your name. Are you ready? Doesn't care. Okay. Achava Sapira bat Avraham Aaron ve'Adina Emuna. Yismach ha'av v'yotzei chalatza v'tagel imo b'fri v'tna. Zot takana gedola tiyeh, kishem shenechnasa labrit ken tikanes leTorah lechupa ulemaasim tovim. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers who came before us, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among the people of Israel by the name Achva Sapira. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all of humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul as they have brought their daughter into this covenant. So may they, with wisdom and with patience and a little sleep, lead her to a life filled with Torah, with the blessing of learning and community, with chuppah, the loving relationship worthy of God's blessing, and Ma'asim Tovim, the pursuit of good deeds. And together we all say, Amen. So, Ava, you know, this is something that's really important for you and for your family and for a whole community. Because whenever a new baby comes into this community, we always invite the prophet Elijah Yeah, you're like waving hi to Elijah. That's cool. So Elijah comes to a community. Oh my God. This is such a strange community. So for our friends online, as the baby is waving, the whole congregation is waving back at her. I just need you folks to know that this is happening. And I'm not sure what to do about it. Well, as Elijah comes, and clearly he's about to, Elijah has a lot of different roles in the Jewish community. We know at the end of the Passover Seder, we open the door for Elijah, if anybody gets that far, and we have this moment of celebrating the possibility of a real liberation, of peace in the world. And at every Brit, there's a special place just for Elijah, because one of Elijah's jobs is to announce the coming of the Messiah. And the Messiah in the Jewish community is an ordinary person, an ordinary human being. And it could be any one of these kids to come and change the world for the better. No pressure. And we have a blessing for you. You ready? Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God look kindly upon you and always be gracious and loving to you and to your whole family. And may God reach out to you in tenderness and give you shalom of peace and wholeness so you can bring shalom out to the world. Mazel tov. So with all of that, we have a little certificate for you, a little book that's still good for teething. We have little things to celebrate with her name, and this goes for you. So Mazal Tov, everybody. Yay! You're welcome, guys. Mazel. You bet. What could I possibly do now? Feel like we should just say bye, right? Wave, just wave, hi! None of this would happen in any of my other congregations. It's so true. We still have something to talk about. There's a lot of hard stuff that's happening. There's a lot of folks that are still feeling uneasy in lots of different ways. And one of the things that I think is really important about our community is this tent. I know it's a little warm, sometimes it's windy and it blows out our candles and I lose papers, but being a part of this tent where it's open on all sides and people are able to enter in different ways, that has to be something that we're serious about. That has to be something that we build and rebuild every time we come here. Whether the tent is up or we're in the main building, there has to be an effort to say that what happens here is going to be holy. The Torah portion for this week is a really tough one. It's a really tough one. It's called Korach. Korach was a man who was a leader among the ancient Israelites. And he goes up and confronts Moses and Aaron in front of everyone and basically says, "You're not really good leaders. Who picked you?" It was God, by the way. But who picked you to lead over us? Me and all of my followers think that it should be a different kind of a leadership. And you are not appropriate. And we see this kind of a competition that is organized and God choosing, and our commentators and the rabbis talk about this as a rebellion. As a rebellion. The rabbis, thousands of years later, our sages will say something from the Mishnah. The Mishnah is the earliest parts of rabbinic writings, an oral tradition that eventually is written down in the 200s. And in the Mishnah, it says, every argument for the sake of heaven will, in the end, be of lasting value. Every argument for the sake of heaven will be of lasting value. It's going to endure. But every argument that's not for the sake of heaven, it's not going to endure. It's going to be squashed. And these rabbis give two examples. What's an argument for the sake of heaven? They identify an argument between Hillel and Shammai. Hillel, a lot of us know that word, that name, famous sages, lots of quotes, organizations on college campuses. Hillel was open and eager to have people connect. Hillel was somebody who wanted a big tent and wasn't always concerned with the smallest types of details. And in the Mishnah, of these arguments between him and his study buddy Shammai, Hillel always won. Hundreds of arguments, except for like 3. But Shammai is always listed. His argument was always there. It was always listed as a dissent. And in the Mishnah, it says their types of arguments are going to endure forever. The negative kind of argument, one that's not for the sake of heaven, not for God's grace, if you will, is going to be an example from Korach. And the text actually says not just Korach, but Korach and his followers. They're arguing not for the sake of heaven, but just for their own sake, for their own power, their own ambitions, their own desire to be a focus, to be the ones in power, to be the ones in charge. Those arguments are not going to endure because they wound and they hurt. For Hillel and Shammai, even though Hillel always won these arguments, the rabbis are going to say that their disciples, their schools of thought, permit each other to have their descendants marry one another. Now, for you and I, we might say, so what? But if you think back to different kinds of times in a more tribal kind of an outset, you kind of only let people marry within your clan, within your particular grouping, right? And they said, no, we are going to welcome one another into each other's houses because we respect one another. We don't have to agree all of the time. Korach and his followers were trying to launch a rebellion to take over some power. Why? Doesn't say. We don't know. But there's a part of me that sees this over and over and over again today. That we have a hard time having a conversation. We prefer debate over dialogue. We rather win the argument rather than experience curiosity with one another. And I know there's a lot of congregants that don't agree with everything that I say, and yet we talk. We're able to have a conversation. Most of the time, some people want to end their relationship with me too. That happens. I feel crushed when that happens, and I'm being quite honest. The thing about an argument is not who is going to win. It is who is going to listen and who is going to grow, Who is going to take an opportunity to understand me and what my pain is? What am I concerned about? It shouldn't be about party. It is often about ethics. And sometimes we don't know what the line is because at a certain point, even in the Bible, even in Torah, it says to stay away from the wicked. Where do we draw the line between somebody who disagrees with us and somebody who's wicked? Once we start talking about somebody who's wicked, we want nothing to do with them. We feel like it's dangerous. And maybe that's true. But for most of the time, that's not what's happening in our families. It's not what's happening in our offices. Can we, in this tent, try and find a way to express curiosity and wonder with somebody who we disagree with somebody that doesn't have the same perspective? And I think it's hard. So I did something and I felt really risky, like I felt like it was very risky the other day. I invited about 30 pastors in Boulder County to come to the synagogue to talk to me. No, not to talk to me, to take a class taught by me relating to Zionism, what it is, what it isn't, and anti-Zionism, what it might be, and where does it intersect with anti-Semitism. 12 pastors came. That's not usually how we interact, by the way. We don't say, hey, we think that you have something to learn from me. I want you to sit like any of our students for 2 hours and just listen to me, your colleague in the community, right? Like this is what we do for our congregants. We don't really do it for each other. And 12 people showed up. 12 people were curious about what my definition of Zionism is. What my definitions of Zionisms, what they are, what they aren't. And I encourage them to continue to ask, because we had an opportunity in our community when people were asking, how can I help? My answer was to learn, to understand how the majority of America's Jews are feeling. Not everybody, but the majority, yeah. And we were concerned and have been saying that the rhetoric that we've been seeing out in public is going to get somebody hurt. And it did. And it did. But nobody is interested in the nuances of an argument. I think Hillel and Shammai had arguments to try and understand the truth. That's what we need to do. And by the way, this is going to be hard for us. Sometimes there are more than one truth. That's really challenging to hear. Sometimes there are competing truths. But I also want to grow in such a way that I can hear somebody's truth and not convince them that they have to accept my truth. Maybe we can figure out how to journey together and try and figure out what we can do here in Boulder together. So 12 pastors and priests came. And they were sincere, and they asked questions, and they wanted to learn what it means to be an ally to the Jewish community, and they all promised not to proselytize. Which I appreciated, and it was lovely. And for 2 hours, they listened to me. Not like you folks that are ready for the sermon to end. But for 2 hours, they listened. and ask questions and we're curious. It begins there. We sometimes have to be a little bit brave and say, I want to tell you my story. And other times, it is going to be, I want to listen to your story. I'm hoping that we get to all be our authentic selves. And I think that's really difficult, especially when we don't feel safe or if we're really, really angry. But the thing that I've learned is that anger is a secondary emotion. Something else happens first. It's usually hurt or disappointment or feeling let down. And that's when I get angry. I hope that we can be angry when we need to for as long as that's healthy for us, and then try and identify what might be underneath. But most of all, I hope that we get to argue together, because it's very Jewish. And I enjoy it. And it's fun. And I'm willing to learn. And I think you folks are as well. But it feels risky that somebody else might be right. We've kind of been trained, I feel, to never say we were wrong in our society. I think we are told to say we're sorry, but we're not always so good at doing it in a way that's constructive. So, let's be like Hillel and Shammai, prepared to see each other even when we disagree, and not argue like Korach and his followers that was just about them and not eager to understand the truth. I wish you a lot of strength in it, and I hope you can send some strength my way, because I encounter it a lot, to try and figure out how is it that we're going to live and build something beautiful together beyond our tent. It has to be with our neighbors. It just has to be. There is no choice. And I hope that in the near future, maybe some of these tests of moral purity can leave. Because if I have that perspective, then nobody else could possibly be right. I'm pretty sure I'm a little right. I'm also pretty sure so are our neighbors. And I hope we get to figure out how to journey better together. All right, we need the babies back. Who wants to wave? Friends, let's move to the conclusion. Aleinu l'shabeach 586. We're going to ask you to rise as you are able. 586. And then we're going to go to the very last paragraph, 591. The bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, late gedula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kogogei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלאכים הקדוש. 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated for a moment Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. If you are observing a yahrzeit is the anniversary of one's death, or if you are in a period of mourning, we invite you, if you choose, to rise for a moment, share the name of the one whom you are remembering, and then we'll continue with additional names from the community.
My grandparents, Rose and Morris Soifert.
Harry. Joe?
My mom, Jean Helper. Our grandmother, Bumi Salazar.
My grandmother, Elaine Stanmeyer. My mother, Kathy Diamond.
We also remember in Shloshim, those first 30 days, we remember Sheldon Horowitz, the father of Harry Horowitz, Andrew Kasoy, the son of Carol and David Kasoy, Elaine Sandmeyer, the grandmother of Rebecca Levis, and those yahrzeits that we recall for this week that's passed: Hope Alcon, Paul Berkowitz, Roberta Boonstra, Lila Dubin, Evelyn Feldman, Herbert Fleischer, Naomi Jem, Ronald Gersten, Jean Helper, Sarah Hurwitz, Pete Lee, Marta, Daniel, and Lauren Margolis, Moses Miller, Ray Million, Betty Milowski, David Price, William Rakusin, Roberta Nevis Robinson, Esther Ritter, Leah Sarna, Boris Stern, Rose Seufer, Morris Seufer, Hilda Stein, David Stern, Michael Weingarten, Margot Wiener, Andrea Wiener. For all those who are named and those that we hold in our hearts, together we say Kaddish on page 598. Our custom is to stand together as a community, shoulder to shoulder, supporting our friends who are mourners this Shabbat. 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, v'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivarach leolam omeo maya, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha barechu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'meru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'meru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'meru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and all who hurt, here and everywhere. Let's say amen. We can be seated. We have a closing prayer on 643. I feel like we've been singing this a lot recently, but I think mostly because I need to. All the world is a narrow bridge, and even while we might be afraid, we continue the journey and we make it meaningful. Page 643, where it says Gesher Tsar Me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher שצר מאוד. והעיקר, 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 לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. Hardest part, yalla. Yalla, 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 כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. יאי, 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 yai lai yai 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 la 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 yai 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 lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Friends, we wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Wish your neighbors a Shabbat Shalom. Wish our baby Ava a happy birthday. I think there's even goodies from the family that they brought for you. And good Shabbos, everyone.